Bose is the presenting partner of Beyond the Grid. That's because Bose Quiet Comfort 35.2 goes beyond what you would expect from a pair of headphones. Just flip the switch to experience the industry-leading active noise reduction feature, and all distractions of the world around you fade away, allowing you to focus fully on what matters to you.
Hi, I'm Esteban Ocon, and you are listening to Beyond the Grid.
Welcome everyone, TC here. Another week, another episode of Beyond the Grid. And this time, I'm chatting to one of the sport's young guns. He's only been in Formula One for a couple of years, but he's got one hell of a story to tell. I'm talking, of course, about Esteban Ocon. The 21-year-old is blazing a trail with Force India this season, but as interesting as anything he's doing on track is his backstory. How he got into Formula One and the sacrifices his family made to finance his junior career are both humbling and uplifting. It's a tale of sacrifice and perseverance, and one that I think will be a bit of an eye-opener. We chatted at the end of a busy day at the track, but Esteban was still full of beans when we caught up in, of all places, the back of the F1 motorhome. Take a listen. Esteban, welcome to Beyond the Grid.
Thank you very much.
Great pleasure to be speaking to you, and mad to think that at Spa this year you're celebrating 2 years in Formula One.
2 years.
I mean,
yeah.
Time flies, doesn't it?
How crazy that is, huh? I feel old already.
Can you remember that debut like it was yesterday?
Oh yeah, well, I can remember it like it was yesterday. I will remember it forever. You know, first time being on the grid with all the big guys and the big cars, and yeah, dream coming true. You know, all those years of work, hard work, and yeah, you just getting there. It was a dream of a little kid, and being on the grid, you know, it's just awesome.
How has F1 changed you in these 2 years, do you think? Or are you still the same guy?
It didn't change me. I'm still the same guy. I still see the same friends. I still see my family. Of course, you know, I'm a lot more away than I was previously. But nothing has changed, no. I still feel like, yeah, I'm on a go-kart track racing to be the best, and that's it.
Have your attitudes to motor racing changed? Driving these fantastic cars compared to, you know, GP2 and what came before?
Yeah, on that aspect for sure. You get experience, you race against tougher drivers, you learn, you know, along them. And of course you get more mature as a driver in there. So for sure I have changed my approach. I have changed many things to get better, and so far it seems to work. You know, bosses are happy, so it's important.
So has Formula One lived up to your expectations?
Yes. It's as crazy as I thought it was.
Is it as because it's mad, isn't it? I suppose as a kart driver, it's what you aspired to be.
Yeah.
You know, they say in life it's dangerous to meet your heroes because
Yes.
they might disappoint you. Has Formula, you know, so getting to Formula One, it's been your life goal.
Yes.
Here you are, and
it's fantastic. You know, it's what I've been working for my whole life, and to arrive here, it's just great. Of course, when you arrive and you race against your heroes, it's a bit different. They are not your heroes anymore, but they are. Of course, you respect them, and I do respect all the drivers. I have a lot of respect for everyone. You know, arriving in Formula One is not easy, and I think everyone's very talented here.
yours is an amazing backstory, it has to be said, because to keep you racing, your mum and dad gave up pretty much everything, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They did. It was tough times. Yeah, for sure. When I think back then and where I come from, to arrive here, it's such an incredible journey. Really, it could have gone wrong, totally, or good like it is now. But there was more chances, and everyone was betting there was a lot more chances for me and for my family to go on the wrong direction. Yeah.
I mean, first of all, what was Évreux in Normandy? Describe your hometown, your
Well, Évreux is when I'm born.
First of all, how was my pronunciation? Évreux.
Évreux is quite good.
Okay.
Évreux, yeah. It's Évreux in Normandy. Nothing special there. Somehow there is a lot of athletes from there.
Who else is from?
Ousmane Dembélé, a world champion this year with France. Steve Mandanda, world champion, goalie. Alexandra Lederman, she's a horse rider, Olympic champion. But it's a 30,000.
What's in the water?
I don't know. Quite crazy, and and also Pierre is from Normandy as well. So we have a good region. But no, Évreux for me is of course where I've grown up, where I started to do go-kart in front of my house on the public road. Don't do that at home. It's where I smell fuel for the first time, and it's where I got my passion for racing.
What triggered the passion? Was it your dad? Was it going to watch a motorsport event? Or
Yeah, it came from my dad. My dad is a mechanic. That's his base job, road car mechanic. So I was not a F1 or racing fan, but I'm more fan of cars, really. I'm still fan of cars, and I think, for a car fan to be racing in the best cars in the world, it's just a fantastic and funny story, to be honest.
So what was your ideal car when you were young? What did you aspire to drive or to own? Or
it always been F1. I always wanted to be in
But what about a road car? You say you were wanting.
Yeah. But basically, so my dad had his workshop downstairs.
Yeah.
And we were living on the top floor. So the house was built like that. My dad built the house. It was full workshop on the lower floor, and we were living on top. And every morning to go to school, I was seeing my dad under the car, lying, doing things, and he gave me a kiss, all black, and yeah, that's how it was. So I've always been growing, seeing tools and seeing engine, fuel, rubber, whatever, I was just amazed seeing a beautiful car on the street, and I was just opening the mouth, being small, and how cool it was. Any car, I was amazed, but as soon as it was a little sport car or something, I was just crazy about it.
And did you dismantle cars with your dad? Did he teach you about the mechanics of cars from a young age?
My dad always was saying, I want a better life for you than I had for me, because he was alone, doing all that work, and my mom was doing paperwork of the car, but my dad has worked so much in his life. It's really hard to describe the hours he was doing when I was going to sleep. Sometimes he wasn't working all night, and I still saw him in the morning on the same thing, still working on the car, and he didn't go to sleep in the night. So he always used to say, I want a better life for you than I had for me. That's what my family did for me. So he still teaches me the basics. And I had to in karting, obviously, so I could be a mechanic too. And later in my career, I almost get back to mechanic with him, because it didn't go the way we wanted. In the end, it went right.
Describe some of the sacrifice that your parents gave up.
Well, they gave everything they could. There was nothing left.
I mean, obviously financial. I mean, so what happened? Did the house and the garage you've just described?
Yeah, we're not living there anymore.
So
that's
sold?
Yes, that's sold for racing, obviously.
To finance your racing career.
Yeah.
So what did you live in?
In a caravan.
Now
I usually don't like to speak about that. I will speak to you about it because you asked nicely, but. No, so usually I don't like to explain that story, because it's been very tough, and to look back at those times and think I'm here now, it's quite crazy.
But Esteban, I should just probably explain where we are. We are in a caravan of sorts.
That's not a caravan. That's a truck.
We're actually having a chat in Sean Bratch's office. Which is a very plush environment to be in, obviously. Not, as you say, like the caravan you lived in. Can you just describe it? I mean, what was it? Was it like a caravan that you tow behind the car, or was it a...
Behind the truck. Like a van. It's not a truck, but it's a van. Like a Mercedes Sprinter, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the caravan was back there. 650 meter long caravan.
And how many of you were living in this caravan?
So me, my mom, my dad, my dog, and all of us traveling all the way through Europe during 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. That was
just karting. Wherever the karting would take you, you would go basically like a snail. Have your whole house on your back.
Exactly.
And away you go.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. we broke a couple engines on the van, a couple gearboxes. During all those travel, we probably did 95,000 kilometers in those 3 years. It was crazy, all around Europe, with the caravan in the back. Normally, no one changed tires on caravans. We changed 3 sets in a caravan of tires. Can you imagine that? There's no engine on the caravan; it's been towed, you know. So that was insane.
Was it I mean, you said it's tough, but was it also a bonding experience? Did that sort of bring you closer to your mum and dad?
Oh, for sure. And they've been, the ones supporting me and believing in me since day one. So yeah, they were. If they were not here, I would not be sitting, right in front of you at the moment. And they also put their life on the side to help me get where I wanted, and they believe in me while everyone else was saying, yeah, you will never manage to do it. Even people of my family said, you guys are crazy, don't do that, and they were believing it, and of course we managed to do it in the end.
Are they still involved in your career today?
Yes.
What do mum and dad do?
Well, they're much more relaxed. My dad has cleaner hands. He still works. He will never stop working.
But are they involved in the management side or the
No.
side?
They are more like advisors, let's say.
Sure.
No, not management side. But as soon as I have a decision to take, they are helping me to take it.
And you said you had a dog.
Yeah, Viper.
Viper, man's best friend.
Viper.
Man's best friend, the dog.
Man's best friend. Yeah.
So what breed was Viper?
He was a border collie.
I thought you were going to say he was a Dodge. No,
it's a Dodge Viper. Yeah. No. Yeah, he's been traveling with us.
So what did you say? Border collie.
Border collie. So the one, the chip, like taking the chip back into the thing. But he was not doing that. But he was hating travels. That's the worst.
Because very intelligent dogs.
Very intelligent, yeah. And first day we take him back on the track. He vomited everywhere. Because he was sick of traveling. He got used to it quickly though. But no, if you can believe, it's 3 seats in front of the van. It's very small because it was an old van. It's not like the new version ones. So we were all with the bags and everything because the back was full of karting tools, whatever it was needed. And the dog on the floor, going through Italy, going through Spain, going through everywhere, sometimes more than 2,000 kilometers. So yeah, quite crazy if you think about it.
One word springs to mind during all of this: school.
Yeah, school.
Did it happen? I mean,
yeah.
When did you have time for school?
It did. My mom was very much pushing for it. My dad less.
But were you like homeschooled?
Yeah, I did homeschooling.
So mum was teacher.
Mom was kind of teacher, yeah. And when we were coming back to France, I had special teachers that were, helping me on stuff. Of course, I didn't go very far because it started to get complicated very early. Then I went to live in Italy. Then I went to live in close to the team I was racing for in Formula Renault. I stopped pretty early, but I had enough knowledge with languages and stuff to...
How many languages can you speak?
4. Yeah.
So you can speak 4 languages fluently. That's not bad for a guy who had a sort of unusual schooling. I've got to say, says the English guy opposite you who can't speak another language, but pretended to go to school.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing thing.
No, I mean, it was important to get enough. There was a choice to make, it was, I go to school and I do 50% school, 50% racing, or I give it all at racing and we try, and if it doesn't work, well, we've tried. Or we do all in school, but that was not possible, that was not an option.
Do you reflect on those times and think you missed out on a normal childhood in any way?
I mean, I didn't have,
the football teams, the camaraderie with your friends.
I didn't have any how do you say, infants? Is that how you say, childhood?
Childhood,
yeah. I didn't have any childhood. I was very mature very early because I was working with older people. Very, very soon my mechanic was my dad, but then we had the second mechanic once Gravity Academy started to bring a bit of money with me. So I was only with older people, and I had to, because we had a lot of weight on my shoulders, with a lot of pressure for me to succeed. There was no other choice than succeed. So I had to realize what was going on, and yeah, that's the story.
So to take us back to that moment at Spa when you made your debut, was there knowing a little bit more about the backstory, if you like, the sense of relief, satisfaction, it must have been emotional as much as anything to actually goal number one, getting to Formula One.
Yeah. Well, there's two things. First, is as soon as I got professional, that was beginning of 2016, I got into DTM, and I got my first salary. So first of all, that was quite an achievement for us.
What did you spend your first paycheck on? Did you put it in the bank and save it for a rainy day?
I was paying nothing. To be honest,
save it for a rainy day.
Save it, and as soon as I earned a bit more, I gave money to my parents to help build another house for them. That's what I did.
I interrupted you very rudely, but there was two things when you said that one was the first paycheck.
Yeah.
To 2016. Was there another point you were going to make about the emotional side of achieving your goals?
Yes. So first thing that was to get to a professional level where you were getting paid. That was fantastic already. It means that all the people saying that we will never manage to do that were wrong, and we always believe it was wrong. So we trusted in the dream, which was reaching the top level of motorsport, and we managed to do so. And then on top of that was to get to F1, and the second thing to get to F1 on the same year. Just great. Yeah, fantastic.
Why do you think Mum and Dad had so much faith in you? Did they see something, or did someone advise them? Because
no,
they're not racing people, so what?
No, but my dad is, I think he has an eye to see if somebody is talented in the sport. I don't know how to explain that.
Sport in general?
Sport in general, yeah.
Was he an athlete himself?
He was a French cycling champion.
Oh, that's interesting.
But on junior categories, so very young. But he stopped. And he got
Why did he stop?
I'm not sure if that's right to say in the press, but because to get professional you had to doping yourself, so back in the days. So that's why he stopped.
didn't want to play the game?
No, exactly, okay. which I understand.
Yeah. Okay, so he just saw something. Was it your commitment? Was it the way you were braking, handling the car?
Yeah, and very young. I was winning everything as well. Very young, the level I had compared to the others was very good, I have to say. In the championship one year, I won all the races, and I had the maximum amount of points. And that's where that Gravity Academy in Renault, the management, they took me and they started to finance my career. And after that, after I started to get easier a bit, but of course, when they are around, you need to perform all the time. If not, they drop you.
So that was age 14-ish?
No, that was age 2013, I think. 12, 13.
So it's quite young to have.
Very young, yeah.
So you picked up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who spotted you? Was it Eric Boulier?
It was Eric Boulier.
It was Eric Boulier?
Eric Boulier, yeah. And Gwen Lagrue.
So you've known Eric for
a long time. Yes, yeah. He was the one picking me in the base.
Yeah. Well, then you get the gravity thing happens. You get some momentum, as you say. I'm going to fast forward, if I may, to 2014 to this.
Straight away.
Yeah. It's amazing how quickly what you can do.
Yeah.
But 2014, look, you won the F3 Euro Series and 9 wins, and you beat Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Max back then, what kind of a competitor was he?
Well, I knew Max since a long time because I was racing with him in karting already. So my last year of international karting race, he won the title. He won the World Series karting title, and I finished second just behind him. So we had some fights there already. Then, how funny it is, we meet again in Formula 3, 3 years later, how quick it goes from karting to Formula 3 in 2 years. Anyway, I knew how tough he is on battles, how good he is as well on pace, but how, all respect to him, but how sometimes inconsistent he could be in a championship, like sometimes like dropping and not scoring points, and I knew that, and I won less race than he did, but in the end I won the title because I was always there scoring, and that's how in the end I managed to win the championship early on.
Was he still the same beast in Formula 3 that he was in karting?
Did
you
he was.
See any change in? No.
But still in F1 I still see the same Max that I saw back in the days.
Does he see the same Esteban?
But I don't think he needs at the moment, because I'm not in the same league, let's say. But hopefully in the future that will change, and if we can fight for the title later, I'm totally down to it.
What's the camaraderie like in the junior formulas? Because I appreciate in Formula 1 it's difficult for you guys to hang out, but were you and Max close when you were karting?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No. It was big fights between us, a lot of pressure we had as well, because I had to win. If not, I was getting dropped by my management, so I had to do good results. It brings a bad atmosphere into that, and we were fighting very close, and sometimes too close, and crashing to each other in some races. And my dad and his dad were not getting along very well, which they do now.
They do now, do they?
They do now. But back then, no, it was a bit of tension, let's say. But also in Formula 3, there was quite a lot of tension. But they go along very well now. They have a laugh each time they see each other, and we get along very well too. Me and Max, we have good relationships.
So you get on better now in Formula 1?
Much better. Much better. I think we are...
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think we are in different position now than we were back then. Back then it was the war of who's going to succeed, and now it's different. We are there. The only job we have to do is to perform, but we are professionals already, and we are employed by teams, and we are in perfect conditions, so it's totally different.
Are you frustrated that he is in a winning car at the moment and you're not? Is it difficult to come to terms with that?
No, I was frustrated when he lost the title, Formula 3, I won, and he went to F1 the following year. I was frustrated there. That was tough times. I had to win a second title then for people to see that I had the potential to go to Formula 1. But nowadays, no. I mean, I'm in F1. I know if I perform well, I will be in winning car in the future. So it's all down to me, and I'm still young, so I have time.
And the pressure side of Formula 1, do you feel the pressure you had on you when you were karting, age 12, 13, has helped you deal with the pressure you have now? Or in a funny kind of way, do you have less pressure because
I don't have pressure anymore.
What?
I feel awesome now. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, as soon as I got to professional level, pressure's gone. It's fantastic. The biggest pressure I had was the last title, the last race I won in GP3 2015. I knew if I won that title, Mercedes would push for me to go to Formula 1. And that's what happened, basically. And as soon as I got into a professional seat, I got no pressure, and everything was good again.
I mean, they say money doesn't buy happiness, but I'm guessing
when
it
you
helps,
are,
right?
I mean,
nothing,
normally not.
When you have nothing, and
when you have nothing, it's different. Money doesn't buy happiness. I agree, but you need a certain comfort to be able to live properly that we didn't. So, yeah.
So, and the mum and dad now still living in Évreux?
Yeah, they still do.
But they've built the house.
Yeah, my dad is, but he's doing it himself.
He's still doing it himself.
Crazy.
He's a very talented man.
He's crazy, but he's probably one of the best worker. He's the best worker on everything. He can. His hands is magic, and he's one of the best mechanic I know. I don't say that because it's my dad, but to be honest, you could put him on the Formula 1 car and he would not be lost.
Now there's a story.
We'll get back to Esteban in a minute. Before that, I wanted to tell you about The Economist.
As someone who works in F1, I find myself on a plane every week for 9 months of the year, and I'm always looking for something to read. My latest discovery is The Economist. Don't be fooled by the title. It's about far more than economics and finance. It's been around for more than 170 years, and it covers a range of subjects from politics and business to science, technology, arts and the environment, and their aim is to help readers prepare for what's going on in the world around them. And let's face it, in today's world, facts matter more than ever. As an F1 fan, you won't be surprised to hear that I usually flip straight to the technology section. And in the latest issue, there's a fascinating story about a flying car. I won't spoil it, but it's very 007. The Economist is the smart guide to the forces changing your world. For your free print copy, just text GRID to 78070. Once more, just text GRID to 78070 for your free print copy. Now let's get back to Esteban.
So just can we talk a little bit about Mercedes? So you say that, winning that GP3 title, where you go. Toto Wolff.
Yeah.
When did he first come on your radar?
So first time I saw him, as funny as it is, was here, next door,
Here,
Hockenheim.
I should just say Hockenheim.
Hockenheim, 2014, so 4 years ago, right here. So back then I was fighting with Max for the title. I didn't win yet, but I had a meeting with him. He was interested to speak to me because I was, of course, with Mercedes engine in Prema, and I was leading the championship. So first time just meeting like that.
Can you remember what was said, or were you just what we call chewing the cud? Were you just?
Yeah, well, he wanted to speak to me. He was quite impressed with what I was doing, and we had a good chat. And I was quite. Start the world, wow, Mercedes, wow, I saw the car, F1 car for the first time from really close, Mercedes car, I had the steering wheel in my hand and all that, wow, amazing, it was. And no, we just had a normal chat, but I didn't know how important that chat was going to be in the future, because everything was going well with Lotus. I had people helping me and believing in me, and if I won the title I was going to go to Formula 2 and everything was going to be okay. The problem was later in the year when I won the title, there's been some financial issues with the program, so they had to stop the program for me, and I had no seat for that year. So I was in a position where I was European Formula 3 champion, and I had no seat for the following year until March. So that was quite intense winter, and that's why I said to you previously that maybe I was going to go work with my dad, and I started to work with my dad again.
In that winter?
Yeah.
As the European Formula 3 champion?
Yeah, I started to get ready, and maybe, I had to go work with my dad with cars. I was over, If nobody was helping me, we had no chance to drive anywhere. So I called Toto. In that winter, I said, listen, Toto, if you don't have an option for me or a seat anywhere, I'll go work with my dad, or I'll go to McDonald's working. I have respect for people working McDonald's, but that's not what I wanted to achieve. So he said, I remember that forever. He said, if Gravity don't have a plan for you in the future, I will take you. How crazy that is. So I said, okay, thank you, Toto. And 1 week, 2 weeks, still nothing. I was sending him message probably every day. He was not replying. And one day he called and said, okay, I found you a seat with Fred in ART. So Fred and Toto have been key people in my career, really. And I had a seat in ART in GP3 and won the title.
So Toto was acting as your manager?
Well, kind of, yes. Because I was, basically, they said, okay, if we take you, we put you in ART, you drive for ART, and if you do good, we have a look at you. So I had a kind of contract that they look at me from far away, like a bit like George Russell in 2014, kind of the same. And they took the option just before the race, before I won the title. So when I did the pole, they said, okay, we saw enough, we take you.
I can feel the sense of relief.
Crazy.
Now. I can feel the
crazy, yeah.
Wow.
And I meet Mr. Zecce in Abu Dhabi. And
Even at that stage, you met Dr.
yeah.
Zecce.
Awesome, huh?
Amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
And the ties with Mercedes are as close today?
But it's even closer today, yeah,
Sure.
for sure. Most of the time I'm in Brackley, I have meetings with Toto.
Yeah.
I was again in the motorhome this morning before going to Force India.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Is he like a father figure for you? Or
Well,
racing
yes,
father?
kind of, yes,
Racing
yeah,
father.
for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe not only Toto, but the whole Mercedes family
Yeah.
is massive help. But yeah, for sure, Toto was the one.
For a guy who's spent so much time in and around racing, have you had time to develop hobbies away from racing or interests away from racing? Is there anything that
Yeah,
doesn't involve engines or
Well, to be honest, I do more now, but before, well, my whole life was dedicated to racing. So, no, what I was doing was in purpose of helping the racing. You know what I mean? So I was training in a way to help racing. I was doing that sport for racing, and now, yeah, I take it a bit. You know, I do my training for racing the whole winter already, which is a lot.
A lot of high altitude stuff.
Yeah,
is that right?
I do. Yeah, to prepare myself for the season. So I do that already, but then the rest of the season, yeah, when I go cycling or when I go training with my friends, sometimes, yeah, I don't think about the racing in the background. I'm just a normal guy. Other than I'm a driver, I just enjoy, you know, having a good dinner with friends, going to the cinema, going bowling or whatever. I'm just a normal.
Are you good at bowling?
Yeah, 182. Not too bad, huh? 182. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm still very competitive in anything.
I'll bet you are. You. Damn it. Yeah, but note to self: don't go bowling with us.
No.
I think I'm gonna.
I go with my trainer,
Yeah.
with Dan, my physio. I go all
So
the
that's
time.
the kind of stuff you do just for purely Esteban Ocon, not
Yeah,
for racing.
yeah,
it's
exactly.
just- Now, look, one other thing I wanted to talk to you about was your height.
Oh yeah,
You know, you're
186.
You're 186. That's
tallest on the grid. Yeah,
you are the tallest on the grid.
and longer legs as well.
It's
That's the
all
problem.
leg, is it? So you're what we call lanky.
Yeah.
I think Alex Vert's telling me he actually looked into ways to try and sort of.
No, that's a myth.
What can you do to stop growing?
No. You can't do that. But yeah, there was times where we got scared, and if I got taller than that, you know, it's over.
Well, you're only 21. Have you stopped growing?
Yeah, I stopped
You have.
growing.
Okay, so it's
I've stopped growing, luckily. But no, my first year in single seater, I remember I had Danny Kvyat as a teammate, and there was in the truck of the race team, there was a piece of metal ahead of the engineering room basically, and they say, yeah, if you have to go down to it, then you won't be able to race your whole career. You will be too tall. So each time I was going in the truck, I was watching it. I was like, getting closer. Like, oh my god, you know, getting closer.
He's a tall guy, actually.
But he's smaller than me.
Is he?
By quite a lot, yeah.
But are you comfortable?
In the Force India, I'm really good. I've been struggling to get into some cars.
Where is it? What, the knees hitting the top of the monocoque?
Yes,
or?
it is, and I have to go quite high.
You have to sit quite high just to get your
on
legs
the limit
straight.
of the legality, really, because I need to stretch my legs, basically. If not, I'm into the chassis.
In the Force India or not?
No, in the
not
Force India,
Force
I'm fitting perfectly.
Only that you and Checo are.
Yeah.
There's quite a discrepancy there.
The car is made for me there, and there's no issue, zero. But when I jump into the Merc for the first time, I was struggling quite a lot. We made a lot of work since then, so I fit better into the Mercedes.
Because of course Lewis
and Valtteri and Nico, they were quite small, so
yeah.
So yeah, it's not good. It's not an advantage to be tall in F1.
Well, it's probably.
But it's okay.
It's probably the best time to be tall.
Yeah.
I think 10, 15 years ago,
was much
it would have
worse.
been much harder.
Yeah, exactly. But I have a chance is that I'm very light. I'm 4% of fat, so yeah.
That's kind of marathon runners.
Yeah. It is. But that's a chance, because if I was normal, let's say, I would be 80 something kilos. So
Are there any negatives with having that little body fat in terms
Well, yeah.
of do you get colds and stuff?
Yeah,
that you may-
I get sick quite easily, but I sleep 12 or 14 hours a night also.
Not the night before a race.
Well, 12 before a race, yeah.
You sleep 12 hours. You're not nervous? You don't sort of wake up early in the morning? Or
No.
12 hours?
Yeah.
And if I had a biscuit, I'm so sorry, I'm very rude, but if I had a biscuit, would you eat it?
Yeah.
Oh, you would eat a biscuit?
Yeah, for sure. I eat 6 times a day.
So what, you eat little amounts?
I know, not little amounts.
Well, how are you
No,
only
no.
got 4%?
Well, if I had the answer, I would tell you. But
is
and like in the morning, I eat like omelets, 6, 7 eggs, with mushroom stuff and
6 or 7. I'm just repeating
6,
in
7
case
eggs.
anyone
Yeah.
for breakfast.
Yeah.
And then for lunch?
Then for lunch, normally one chicken breast is good portion already. I have 2.5 with full side of like mashed potato and stuff, plus dessert.
Plus a dessert?
Yeah, every 2 hours, 2-3 hours.
I'm absolutely
I-
gobsmacked by that.
It's quite crazy. And I lost, if you think about it, I lost 4.5 kilos since the beginning of the year.
Why?
Because I'm training less and traveling. I don't eat. Sometimes there is days where I cannot eat 6 times a day. Yeah, and
So
in the
have you-
training period, that's what I do. I eat every 2 hours, 2-3 hours, but I cannot do that all the time in the season. So I lost 4.5 kilos.
And where's that muscle gone? Is it from your neck?
No, the neck stays the same. I think it's legs mainly.
This is fascinating. So look, but moving on, because I really appreciate your time. One thing we haven't discussed is we touched on the number of languages you can speak.
Yeah.
Obviously one of them is Spanish, because maybe not very many people know that you are half
Spanish.
Dad, paternal side, is that
Yes,
right? So,
exactly.
so is Dad Spanish?
No, my dad is born in France.
He was born in France.
But my grandparents are born in Spain.
In which bit?
Malaga.
In Malaga. So
Yeah.
you still have relations in Malaga?
Well, more in Barcelona actually, because my family moved to Barcelona somehow. I don't know how many years ago, but I have all my cousins and everything in Barcelona, in Molle del Vallès,
Okay.
close
So-
to the circuit.
So you have 2 home Grand Prix, is that?
Kind
Oh,
of, yeah.
kind of?
Yeah, exactly.
One in Spain,
Well,
one in Italy.
one, to be honest, Barcelona is more my home Grand Prix in a way, because my family is there.
Actually there.
They are there, yeah. In
Don't tell me-
Porica, they are 1,000 kilometers
Sure.
away. But
And they're all trying to get tickets off you.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. It's difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And idols when you were young?
Michael.
Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
You had his helmet when you were karting.
Yeah, I still have his design. All his design is inspired by him. All the side, if you look, it's all inspired by him. When or if I go away from Force India, I will turn back to his red.
His colour red.
Yeah, like I started in Mano.
What did you admire so much about Michael Schumacher?
I think it changed the sport, and when I've grew up, he was the one making me loving the sport so much. His fights with Fernando back in the days, they were amazed me, when I was watching with my dad TV on the Sunday, it was Michael. There was nobody else than Michael. I grew up with him. And that red helmet, red car, it was something special.
And because of that passion for Michael, do the red cars hold an attraction to you in Formula One?
I think it does to every driver, definitely.
Can you explain that? Why?
I don't know. It's something special, Ferrari in F1 is mythical, but Michael drove for Mercedes as well, and it's my target for the future.
Have you given yourself a time scale to start winning in Formula One? Have you said to yourself, I want to be winning it next year after? Is there or being an impatient racing driver, it's this race? Or?
Well, let's say 2.5 years. That would be good.
Within the next 2.5 years?
Yeah.
End of 2020?
That would be good.
By then? Okay.
Yeah.
It must be so. I can't remember when I was 21, and I'm not that old, to be honest with you, but to grow up in the world of motorsport like you have, can you think of a better life?
No. I think if I didn't do race cars around the world or race karting or whatever, I would probably have been maybe a motocross rider or something. That's what I would have liked to do if that was not the case. My dad would have never let me do that, but yeah, that would have been the second world I would have liked to go.
It's engine.
Still engine.
It's still
doesn't
engine.
matter. Fuel, tires.
Yeah.
There's something in there. When I was a kid, I used to tell my dad, "Can I drink unleaded fuel?" I used to love it so much. I still love the smell. It's amazing.
Unleaded.
Yeah, like senza piombo, no? Sans plomb.
Oh my god. I know what sans plomb means.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It smells so good.
Dad, can I fill up the car? No. I'll
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's incredible. So, do you know what? Back in the sort of 90s, they had, when they were really developing the fuels in Formula One, the guys in the garage used to have to wear gas masks when they were
Yeah, but that's different. The one in the fuel station, I'm saying. The one in here doesn't smell as good. That one in here hurts.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's just filling up the
cars, yeah. But the karting, you were filling it up with the fuel station, so.
Can I drink the unleaded fuel?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Not diesel.
I'm pleased you didn't.
No, exactly. But I was like, so good.
Well, Esteban, thank you.
Pleasure.
It's been great sort of learning about you and where you come from and get those victories, eh?
Yeah. I will keep pushing.
Go and give it to Max Verstappen.
No, exactly.
Reignite those old battles.
No, my first goal, my first dream was to get to Formula One. Yeah. My second is to be world champion. I still have to fill that one up.
So that was Esteban Ocon. What's my take-home message for the boy from Normandy? Keep unleaded fuel away from him. But what a great guy. So unassuming and amusing. A big thanks both to Esteban and Force India. Next week, we will of course be chatting to another big name from the world of F1, so please subscribe to ensure you don't miss out. And in the meantime, please rate and review us. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favourite podcast app. And if you have something you want to tell us, then drop us a line using the hashtag F1 Beyond the Grid. And you can reach me on Twitter at TomClarksonF1. Beyond the Grid is produced by F1 in association with Audio Boom. Until next time, keep it flat out.